The town opened its own investigation into animal welfare and concerns related to the property. We worked with town council to draft an administrative warrant, which was executed this morning at 10 a.m. Immediately when we got into the house, we had concerns about the safety of 17 dogs located in the home's basement. They were without food and water and living in filth. Additionally, we located 2 cats, a turtle, and a guinea pig, all in similar situations. The Middleboro Health Department immediately condemned the home due to health concerns. The Middleboro Fire Department also determined that the home was a fire hazard. Right now, we're working to get the dogs out of the home and the other animals out of the home and into the care of our local MSPCA. Right now, the police are conducting an ongoing investigation, which we also cannot comment on. So with me today, I have our health director, Kayla Smith, animal control officer, Kevin Roscoe, and our fire chief, Owen Thompson. They can answer questions related to the health and safety of the dogs, the condemnation of the home, and the fire concerns at the property. So any questions that you have for them, they're here to answer them.
Can you talk about the animals and the condition that the animals are in?
Conditions of the animals, they were clearly neglected, but are alive and we'll be taking care of them.
Are they in cages? Are they like are they emaciated? We had actually talked to someone who talked to us about the horses and how they were kept, and they could hear the dogs while they were in the back tending to the horses. Can you just give us a clear picture of what they're all down in the basement? If they get outside?
So they were in cages and dog kennels with urine and feces inside the kennels, without food, without water. Some were emaciated, pretty skinny. Some were in better condition, but majority were in filth and pretty thin.
Was the town's investigation into the horses as well, or just the dogs and animals inside?
Just the animals inside the home.
Do you know if this woman who lived in the house and who the property is leased or owned by has any other animal cruelty charges or is known for any animal abuse?
We don't know that right now. We're
Was
not
she
able
allowed to
comment
have
on it.
animals?
They were unregistered and she didn't have a permit for the animals.
What kind of support are you looking for with the dogs now from the community?
The MSPCA has offered to take the animals so we can keep them all together.
Okay.
What kind of dogs are they? How old?
Mixed breed, mixed age, anything from small breed to some large breed dogs.
And do you know how long they've been in there?
Don't.
So you have a no-kill shelter in Middleboro.
Correct.
So you must be taking this really good part.
Absolutely.
And do you need help from the community in raising funds to care for them, or is the MSPCA handling it all?
We're going to revisit that in about a week after the MSPCA takes the animals. They will be doing all the veterinary care for the animals, and then we will reconvene with them to discuss about which animals we can adopt out, or it depends on the situation as well. I don't know.
Any indication as to when the last time they were fed?
Do you have any idea?
We believe on Tuesday.
You see a lot of things, I'm sure, an animal control officer. How does this compare to some of the other things that you've seen?
In the 2 years I've been here, this is the worst.
We couldn't hear the dogs from the outside. Were they that ill that they
No.
couldn't make noise?
They were loud from the back.
We couldn't hear them
From the streets, you can't hear them.
Will all the dogs
One dog
survive?
that was removed, do you know how that dog was doing?
The dog was seen by a veterinarian and released back to us.
Will they all survive as far as you can tell?
We believe so.
And you had mentioned that this investigation had been going on for several weeks, that you got the tip and were looking into this. So were you working with the owner of these dogs and trying to get them healthy or to do anything?
Previously we had in the past. I just conducted an investigation during that and came to my solution of administrating the search warrant.
Have you spoken to the owner today?
Not today.
Is she, anyone under arrest, anyone,
It's a pending investigation for the police department.
is she in the home still, or she asked to leave?
She was not at the home.
Is that home abandoned?
We don't know.
We don't know. No.
And
Because it
Is
looks
it
like
condemned for any, because of is there other reasons why?
Kayla Smith, Health Director for the town. The home has been condemned based off of 105 CMR 630 because of filth and the disease that it could lead to regarding rodents and what the rodents could bring in to the animals and humans.
Is that just in the basement or the entire house?
The entire house is condemned, yes.
And then it's a fire hazard also?
Yes.
Why is it a fire hazard?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Owen Thompson. I'm the chief of the fire department. My name is spelled O-W-E-N, first name. Last name is T-H-O-M-P-S-O-N. The two major reasons why we thought that the house was a safety concern was the amount of hoarding conditions that was ongoing. We actually had a hard time entering the structure altogether. There was piles of trash everywhere. Historically, large piles of trash, not only are they flammable and can create large significant fires very quickly, they also create a very large safety hazard for the people inside the building. We've seen situations like this in the past in the industry where large piles of trash will literally topple onto somebody and they will not be able to get out. They won't even be able to call anybody to tell anybody that they're hurt, and we won't be able to get in to rescue them. So hoarding conditions have to be taken very seriously anytime we find them. Again, not only for the health and safety of the people who are in there, but also for the health and safety of any firefighters or any emergency personnel who have to come in to try to rescue trapped people. So that was the first reason why the house, why we didn't think the house was livable anymore. The second reason is that we couldn't find a full extent of working smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. We did find a few. We're unable to determine if they were actually working and they were expired per the Massachusetts State Code. And those are the two reasons that we believe the house should not be lived in at that period of
Can
time.
you tell if anyone was actually living there with the animals?
I'm not sure if anybody was living there or not.
So it was hoarding of like item of trash and various things, plus the hoarding of the animals, so all sorts of hoarding going on.
Yeah, so the hoarding of the animals really falls back to the animal control officer, but hoarding of goods inside the house, typically, as in this situation, is we have people who either don't want to get rid of stuff or can't get rid of stuff, and instead of moving stuff into trash to outside, they end up piling it on top of each other inside their houses.
And that's what you saw inside.
And those are some of the conditions that we did see in the house. And that was from the front entry all the way up throughout the entire
How were
building.
you able to get into the house?
In order to get into the house, we had to force entry into the front door, and then we had to physically remove items from behind the door, and actually in order so that we were able to fully open the door and actually be able to make entry. In a fire scenario, we would not be able to get in there to rescue somebody, and unfortunately in those fire scenarios like that, usually those piles fall down and they will actually block the door, and the person inside the house will not be able to get out of the house in those scenarios as
Could you
well.
tell if children had been living in that house?
I could not
Any
tell.
evidence?
Oh.
What's the next step with the plans for the house and what's the next step with everything?
It's too early right now. It's an ongoing investigation. We're still working right now. We're trying to get the dogs out of the house.
Is
Is
this
the
in the
house
police hands?
The police are working on an investigation.
Can you tell us
Do we
that,
know if this woman was allowed, based on her previous record, to have animals on her property?
Kevin, do we know that?
She was.
Say that more.
She was allowed to have animals.
She was.
There was no, nothing stating she couldn't.
So what does that mean to be registered, permitted, what is,
In our town, in most towns, you have to register your dogs. She had no registered dogs.
She had no registered dogs and no kennel license. To have, after 4 dogs individually registered, you have to apply to a kennel license, which gets approved through the town. You should not have a kennel license either.
I want to make sure that we're talking about the right person. Kim Savino, is that
We're not gonna comment on the
the
name.
owners, the two elderly
Are
people
those
that own it?
animal rules also true for the horses in the town, or is that
The
something
horse,
separate?
We're not
horses
involved
police
in the
separate.
horse investigation.
But I mean, to have horses, do you need those permits?
You need to have a stable permit for the town, yes.
And
Was
sure.
there a stable permit for
was,
that
yes.
property?
It was.
When was the last time it was inspected?
That I don't know. I'm not the animal inspector in that purpose.
How long has she been on your radar? When did you guys start getting tips?
A few weeks ago.
Just a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Couple more questions?
you mentioned that this was the worst thing you'd seen in 2 years. Can you describe why?
Just the filth, the smell is just was gross. That's pretty much.
Thank you, everyone.
Administrator, your thoughts on this, just overall,
That's
your
it.
personal thoughts on this?
Just a scary situation in the community that we take very seriously. Obviously, everyone in our community cares a lot about their animals. You know, we're a farming community. We take it pretty seriously, so.
Do they have working water and electricity in the house?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Do you go?
Yes, we did not condemn on those reasons.
All right, we're gonna thank you very much.
Thank you.